In the heart of the sprawling Everglades, where the sun casts golden hues upon the marshy expanse and the air hangs heavy with humidity, there existed a legend whispered among the cypress trees and hidden within the winding waterways. This legend spoke of the Dogman, a mysterious and enigmatic creature that prowled the depths of this untamed wilderness. The tale of the Dogman had its roots in the folklore of the indigenous tribes that once called the Everglades their home. Stories passed down from generation to generation spoke of a guardian spirit, a being that possessed the body of a man and the soul of a wolf. It was said to be a protector of the land, an entity that roamed the dense mangroves and murky waters, keeping a watchful eye over the delicate balance of nature. As the centuries unfolded and settlers ventured into the untamed wilderness, tales of the Dogman evolved. Early explorers spoke in hushed tones of encounters with a creature that moved with the grace of a predator and the keen intelligence of a human. They described a figure that stood tall on two legs, covered in fur the color of dusk, with piercing amber eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. Among the locals who made their living within the Everglades, stories of the Dogman were woven into the fabric of their lives. Fishermen returning at dusk would swap tales of eerie howls echoing through the marshes, attributing them to the enigmatic guardian of the wilds. Some claim to have glimpsed the shadowy silhouette of the Dogman darting between the sawgrass, disappearing into the dense foliage before vanishing completely. One particular tale emerged from the folklore, passed down through the ages like a cherished heirloom. It recounted the story of a lost child wandering deep within the Everglades, separated from their family during a treacherous storm. As the hours passed and darkness descended upon the swamp, hope dwindled. Yet just when all seemed lost, the child emerged unharmed, guided back to safety by a mysterious figure with fur-covered limbs and an unwavering gaze. Over time, skepticism clouded the belief in the Dogman. Rationality replaced folklore, and explanations were sought in the realms of science and logic. The legend of the creature was relegated to campfire stories and cautionary tales, dismissed as a product of imagination spun from the mysteries of the untamed wilderness. Until the incident with Maggie. Among the small town nestled on the fringes of the Everglades, there lived a baker named Maggie, renowned for her delectable cupcakes that locals and tourists alike flocked to savour. Maggie's quaint bakery, adorned with pastel hues and the aroma of freshly baked treats, was a beloved haven for sweet indulgence. Yet, every now and then, a curious occurrence would leave the townsfolk bewildered and amused in equal measure. Cupcakes began to disappear from picnic tables that were unwatched, in the far corners of the local park, and from people's backyards, including Maggie's backyard. Initially dismissed as mere mishaps or miscounts, the frequency of the missing cupcakes grew uncanny. Whispers began to circulate, weaving tales of the mischievous Dogman with an undeniable fondness for confections. After a while, it was just the cupcakes from Maggie's bakery that vanished consistently, and other confections were ignored. Local lore suggested that Dogman, despite its mystique and formidable presence, harboured an inexplicable affinity for sweet treats, especially Maggie's cupcakes. Campers near the Everglades reported sightings of a shadowy figure with glowing eyes, spotted vanishing into the dense foliage, carrying cupcakes and smelling of frosting and vanilla. Maggie, initially perplexed by the disappearing cupcakes, eventually found humour in the situation. She began to concoct extra batches, leaving a few out on the picnic table behind her store each night, half hoping and half teasing the unseen visitor to indulge in their sweet cravings. As weeks passed, the missing cupcakes became a whimsical part of the town's folklore. Visitors would flock to Maggie's bakery not only for the delicious treats. One moonlit night, as the fireflies danced and the Everglades echoed with the nocturnal chorus, a rustling near the bakery stirred Maggie from her slumber. Peering through the windows, she caught sight of a figure, not menacing but rather endearing, with tufts of fur and curious amber eyes. It was the Dogman, standing near the picnic table, gingerly sampling the cupcake left out as an offering. Maggie smiled, watching the creature savour the sweetness she had crafted, and she quietly whispered her gratitude to the guardian of the Everglades. From that night onward, the missing cupcakes became a weekly ritual, a charming exchange between a baker and a mystical being who shared an inexplicable fondness for the sugary delights. They didn't always disappear, but most of the time they did. The legend of the Dogman, now known affectionately as the cupcake connoisseur of the Everglades, continued to be whispered among the locals, adding a sprinkle of whimsy to the mysterious beauty of the marshy wilderness. And in Maggie's bakery, a small sign appeared, declaring in elegant cursives, "Cupcakes for the Dogman, a sweet treat for a mystical friend." Whether a guardian spirit, a mystical being, or a figment of collective imagination, the Dogman legend lives on, entwined with the rich tapestry of the Everglades' untold mysteries.